Serious injuries frequently occur, but what's more amazing is the ability of these athletes to return from those injuries.
Amputation possibility, and 693 days later, here he is.
Football is a violent sport, so we're taking a look at 12 players who suffered devastating injuries but were remarkably able to return to the gridiron. Damar Hamlin, Buffalo Bills. One of the easiest selections to make for this list. Hamlin was drafted by the Bills in the 6th round of the 2021 draft. He appeared in 14 games during his rookie year but did not start any of them. The 2022 season saw Hamlin earn a starting job in the Buffalo secondary. However, a career-altering incident occurred on January night in 2022. During a Monday night game against the Bengals, Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest. After making what appeared to be a routine tackle, Hamlin stood up and then collapsed. Medical officials tended to him on the field, restored his heartbeat, and took him to the hospital. Hamlin was diagnosed as suffering from a condition where a blunt impact to the chest at a certain moment in the heart's electrical system stops its rhythm. Amazingly, on April 18th of 2023, Hamlin was medically cleared to return to the NFL. The question was, would he? I mean, I think most people would understand if Hamlin decided to walk away from football considering the serious nature of his injury. Yet, he returned to play in 5 games in 2023. And in 2024, Hamlin returned to his starting role. Frank Gifford, New York Giants. The 1960 season saw the halfback providing his usual production to the New York Giants. But during a game against Philadelphia, Gifford took a hit that probably should have ended his career. Eagles linebacker Chuck Bednarik leveled Gifford, and the unconscious player needed to be stretchered off the field. The Giants halfback would miss the rest of the 1961 season with a spinal concussion. Despite the seriousness of the injury, he would continue to play for the Giants for 3 more seasons. Rocky Bleier, Pittsburgh Steelers. Bleier's rookie year was cut short when he received his military draft notice late in 1968. It was during his service in the Vietnam War where Bleier incurred his gruesome injuries. While facing down enemy fire, the running back was shot in his leg. And if being shot in the leg wasn't horrifying enough, later that same day, an exploding grenade resulted in his right leg being hit with shrapnel. The injuries were so severe that leg amputation was a topic of discussion. Yet, in 1971, after 2 seasons away, Rocky Bleier returned to play for the Steelers. He continued to play for 10 more seasons in Pittsburgh, including being a member of the Steelers' 4 Super Bowl championships in the 1970s. Alex Smith, Washington Commanders. Alex Smith was picked first overall by the San Francisco 49ers in the 2005 draft, but unfortunately never lived up to that hype. That's not to say that Smith was a bad quarterback or anything. Quite the opposite. Smith would play in 3 Pro Bowls and end his career with over 35,000 passing yards and 199 touchdowns. Smith was a very good quarterback, just not on the level of a #1 overall pick. Smith first missed the entire 2008 season with a shoulder injury, but it's his injury in 2018 that almost ended his career. During a game against the Texans, Smith suffered a spiral and compound fracture in his tibia and fibula. After the surgery, Smith developed a flesh-eating disease and sepsis in the injured leg that required 17 surgeries. Amputation was in serious discussion. He would go on to miss the entire 2019 season before returning for 6 games in the 2020 season. However, after suffering a leg bruise in that 2020 season, Alex Smith decided to permanently retire from the NFL. And honestly, I don't blame him. Peyton Manning, Denver Broncos. If you were to make a list of the all-time greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, a realistic argument could be made for Peyton Manning. Drafted first overall by the Colts in 1998, Manning went on to have one of the most decorated careers in the NFL. Among his numerous accolades, he was named to 14 Pro Bowls, was a 7-time All-Pro, a 5-time AP MVP, 2-time Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl 41 MVP, almost 72,000 yards passing, 539 touchdowns, and a Hall of Fame induction in 2021. Manning had one of the most remarkable runs of longevity to start a career, having not missed a start over his first 13 seasons in the league. But in 2011, as a result of a lingering pain and weakness to his neck, Manning missed the entire season. The 2012 season saw the star quarterback in an unusual place, coming back from injury and playing for a new team. With the Broncos, Manning would go on to play 4 more seasons, making 3 of his 14 Pro Bowl selections and winning his 2nd Super Bowl in 2013. Gale Sayers, Chicago Bears. Even with the advances of modern medicine, I'm I'm sometimes amazed at professional athletes' ability to return from serious injuries. What's even more amazing is athletes from decades ago coming back from serious injuries while playing in the dark ages of modern medicine. Sayers rushed for 867 yards and 14 touchdowns in his rookie season, but was able to surpass 1,200 yards in his sophomore season, winning his first rushing title. Unfortunately for Sayers, his 1968 season was cut short when he tore his ACL, MCL, and meniscus. Those are injuries that could derail an athlete's career in 2026. Forget the damage that they would cause in 1968. Sayers was determined, rehabbed hard, and returned to the Bears' backfield in 1969, where he won his second league rushing title. Despite the comeback in 1969, though, Sayers only played in 4 combined games over the next 2 years before another knee injury ended his career. Garrison Hearst, San Francisco 49ers. A first-round draft pick, 3rd overall by the Cardinals in 1993, Garrison Hearst had all the tools to be a star. His first 2 years in the league were nothing special, as he rushed for a combined 433 yards with 2 touchdowns on 113 carries. After a disappointing 1996 with the Bengals, Hearst made his way to the San Francisco 49ers for the 1997 season, but in 1998, Hearst completely broke through. In that year, Hearst surpassed 2,100 scrimmage yards. However, against the Falcons in the playoffs that year, Hearst broke his ankle. Surgical complications led to Hearst missing 2 years of playing time with avascular necrosis, a condition that affects blood flow to the ankle. Despite the simple task of walking becoming difficult, Hearst actually returned to the 49ers in 2001 and once again surpassed 1,000 yards rushing. From there, he would continue to play through the 2004 season. Tim Krumrie, Cincinnati Bengals. Anyone old enough to remember watching Super Bowl 23 will remember watching this injury. But let's roll it back and start at the beginning. Tim Krumrie was drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals in the 10th round of the 1983 draft. By 1984, his second season, Krumrie was already a starting member of the defensive line. He would earn 2 Pro Bowl selections and was named an All-Pro in 1988. In fact, 1988 would be the season that the Bengals made it to their second Super Bowl appearance, and Krumrie's 152 tackles with 3 sacks certainly contributed to the team's success. However, against the 49ers in Super Bowl 23, Krumrie suffered a gruesome injury to the leg, breaking his leg in 2 places. Viewers were able to see the defensive lineman's ankle flopping in the breeze. Remarkably, after surgery to install a metal rod, Krumrie returned to the Bengals for Week 1 of the 1989 season and played until 1994. Joe Montana, San Francisco 49ers. The accolades for Joe Montana are plentiful, among them being an 8-time Pro Bowl selection, 3-time All-Pro, 2-time MVP, 4-time Super Bowl champ, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, induction into the NFL Hall of Fame, and being the only player who is actually deserving of 2 separate entries on our list. Yeah, that's right. Injuries almost derailed Montana's decorated career, not once, but twice. In 1986, the 49ers quarterback suffered a ruptured disc in his lower back, which required surgery. Despite his quick recovery, based upon the seriousness of the surgery itself, Montana's recovery was considered an absolute miracle. As if overcoming one major injury wasn't enough, Montana was faced with another surgery in 1991. During the preseason, Joe Cool suffered a severe elbow injury and needed to have his tendon reattached. The elbow injury led the 49ers to trade Montana to Kansas City, where he played for another 2 seasons. Orlando Brown, Baltimore Ravens. Orlando Brown signed with the Cleveland Browns as an undrafted free agent in 1993 and immediately became a starter in 1994. He spent the first 2 years of his career in Cleveland before relocating with the team to Baltimore in 1996. Brown was a ferocious offensive lineman who quickly became one of the highest paid linemen in the league. In 1999, Brown signed a free agent deal to return to the newly reformed Cleveland Browns. Yet, 1999 would not be a banner year for Brown. During a game against Jacksonville, referee Jeff Triplett accidentally hit Brown in the right eye with a weighted penalty flag. As a result of the errant flag, the hulking offensive lineman suffered from temporary blindness and was forced to miss 3 seasons. After suing and settling with the NFL and spending over 2 years in rehab, Orlando Brown miraculously returned to the field of play in 2003. Prior to that season, Brown was re-signed by the Baltimore Ravens, where he went on to play an additional 3 years. Priest Holmes, Kansas City Chiefs. Unfortunately, injuries started to pop up in the 2004 season, but it was the injuries suffered in 2005 that put Holmes' career in jeopardy. Holmes' season ended early when he suffered a spinal column injury after being tackled. The running back sat out the entire 2006 season, but reported to Chiefs training camp in 2007. He remained on the non-football injury list until October, when he made an unlikely return to the field. Holmes would go on to play in 4 games in 2007 before another injury, this one to his neck, which ultimately led to his retirement. Jack Youngblood, Los Angeles Rams. During the 1979 playoffs, Youngblood suffered a fractured fibula in the divisional round against the Cowboys. Despite the injury, Youngblood refused to come out of the game. He then continued to dress and play in the NFC Championship against the Buccaneers and in the Rams Super Bowl loss to the Steelers. Playing in 3 games with a broken leg wasn't enough for Youngblood though, as the man also played in the 1979 Pro Bowl game with said broken leg. But hey, what other players came back from a devastating injury? Were there any notable names that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.